What if I told you that sitting right now in your kitchen cabinet is a simple, overlooked bottle of oil? One that has the power to reignite your energy, your confidence, and even your sense of manhood without a single pill, injection, or awkward conversation. Sounds far-fetched? I thought so too, until I saw what it did for my patients. Men in their 60s, 70s, even their 80s, who had silently accepted that their best days were behind them, only to discover that healing was possible, that connection was still within reach, and that they were never actually broken. Let's be real. After 60, many men begin to feel a quiet loss. Not just physical strength or energy, but something deeper. A fading sense of who they were. Less connection, less drive. Intimacy feels different, or sometimes, like it's disappeared altogether. And the worst part? Nobody talks about it. According to the National Institute on Aging, over 60% of men aged 65 and older experience poor blood flow and loss of sensation in the genital area. Yet fewer than 20% seek help. Why? Embarrassment, shame, or simply not knowing what to do. But today I, Dr. Emma, want to give you something different. A completely natural method that thousands of men are quietly turning to. No prescriptions, no side effects, just castor oil therapy, an ancient healing practice backed by science that could help you restore sensation, reignite blood flow, support healthy tissue, and rebuild confidence from the inside out. Benefit 1. Enhancing blood flow to the genital area, the foundation of vitality. Let's begin with the first and most essential benefit, the cornerstone of male vitality, circulation. I remember my patient Robert, 67 years old. He sat across from me, lowered his head, and gently said, "Doctor, my body doesn't respond the way it used to." He wasn't just talking about performance. He was describing a disconnect from his masculine identity, sluggish blood flow, numbness, loss of morning erections. He wasn't sure when it started, but he felt like something inside him was fading. And here's the truth. Robert is not alone. This decline is biological and gradual. After 60, blood vessels lose elasticity, arteries narrow, nitric oxide levels drop, limiting the body's ability to dilate blood vessels. This starves the lower pelvic region of the oxygen and blood it needs, resulting in a slow, quiet loss of function. Not all at once, but piece by piece, until one day, you realize what's missing. Here's where the power of castor oil enters the picture, not just as a folk remedy, but as a biologically active oil rich in ricinoleic acid, which helps dilate tiny capillaries, stimulates local blood flow, penetrates deep into tissue, especially effective when combined with gentle heat, like a warm towel. When applied to the lower abdomen and genital area, castor oil doesn't just coat the skin, it activates the tissues beneath. Robert applied for it 3 times a week. Within a few weeks, he reported a subtle warmth, followed by the return of morning stiffness and improved sensitivity. "I can't quite describe it," he said, "but it feels like my body is remembering how it's supposed to work." And that's not magic. That's biology reawakened. If this story is already making sense to you, drop your city in the comments. I'd love to know where you're watching from. And if this is your first time here, click subscribe because we explore real, science-backed solutions to restore dignity, wellness, and connection, especially for men over 60. Coming up next, we'll talk about Benefit 2, a silent condition that causes curvature, pain, and loss of function, and how castor oil might be the missing link to restoring normal shape and comfort again. Benefit 2. Softening. Fibrotic tissue and internal scar plaques. The hidden cause of deformation, pain, and loss of function. Let me tell you a story. A few months ago, I met Daniel, a 71-year-old retired veteran. Tough, resilient, but the moment he walked into my clinic, I could see the weight he was carrying. "Dr. Emma," he said hesitantly. "I don't know what's happening, but it started to curve. And honestly, it feels strange, uncomfortable. I've never experienced anything like this." And he's not alone. This is one of the most underdiagnosed issues men over 60 silently suffer with: the gradual development of internal scar tissue or fibrotic plaques inside the penis, causing tightness, curvature, pain during intimacy, and even a noticeable shortening of size. Often mistaken for normal aging, this condition can quietly progress into a more serious version of what's medically known as Peyronie's disease, but many men never seek help because it feels embarrassing, taboo, even shameful. But here's what's happening biologically. Years of minor trauma, repeated friction, inflammation, or even rough contact can cause collagen to build up where it shouldn't. These fibers become stiff, like ropes pulling the tissue out of alignment, causing unnatural bends, painful pressure, and even interrupted blood flow. Over time, this internal rigidity steals not just physical ability, but emotional confidence. Now ask yourself this: if you had scar tissue on your arm, wouldn't you try to soften it, stretch it, heal it? So why not do the same for this equally important and sensitive part of your body? Here's the surprising part. Castor oil has been used for generations to do exactly that. With its anti-fibrotic properties, castor oil helps soften hardened collagen, break down internal plaques, restore elasticity, ease the pull and pressure that causes distortion. When applied consistently with warmth and light massage, castor oil penetrates into the subcutaneous tissues, activating enzymes and supporting the body's natural tissue remodeling. For Daniel, I recommended a simple regimen. 3 to 4 nights per week. Apply warm castor oil with a slow circular massage, then cover the area with a warm compress or towel for 15-20 minutes. Just 6 weeks later, Daniel returned with a subtle grin and said, "The tightness is gone, and the curve, it's starting to look normal again." That wasn't just physical healing, it was an emotional restoration, a quiet reminder that his body still had the capacity to heal, and that he hadn't lost control after all. But Daniel's story doesn't end there, because once scar tissue begins to heal, another deeper enemy must be addressed: chronic inflammation. It's the invisible fire that quietly destroys nerve endings, restricts circulation, and causes that constant feeling of tightness, heat, or dull discomfort in the pelvic area. And the worst part? Most men don't even know it's happening. But don't worry, castor oil helps here too. Let's explore that next. Dr. Emma here, ready to walk you through how low-grade inflammation may be the real reason behind your discomfort or loss of response, and how castor oil can help calm it gently, naturally, and powerfully. Benefit 3. Calming chronic pelvic inflammation. The hidden flame. Burning away. Your sensation, confidence, and comfort. Let's talk about something that's often ignored, yet affects nearly every man over 60. Silent inflammation. Not the kind that flares up painfully and gets immediate attention, but a low, persistent burn deep within your pelvic region. You may not even recognize it as inflammation. It often feels like a dull ache or tightness in the groin, a strange pulling sensation during movement, mild but constant heat or discomfort during intimacy, a vague sense of internal restriction, like your body's closing in on itself. I remember Michael, 66 years old, sitting across from me, confused and quietly distressed. He told me, "I'm not in pain exactly, but it's like something inside me is pulling inward. It feels like my body is closing up." And I knew what he meant. That's not just physical, it's emotional. It's the sense of losing control, losing presence, losing yourself. Here's what's really going on. With age, immune activity becomes imbalanced. Oxidative stress builds up in delicate tissues, micro-injuries and slow recovery lead to chronic inflammation. This inflammation slowly shrinks blood vessels, damages nerves, and stiffens soft tissues. It's like a slow erosion of everything that once worked effortlessly, until suddenly you realize you're less sensitive. You don't respond as quickly, and intimacy begins to feel like a chore rather than a connection. But there's good news. Castor oil again proves its value. Its key compound, ricinoleic acid, has been shown in several studies to reduce inflammatory markers in soft tissue, calm oxidative stress, relieve mild swelling and discomfort, support the body's natural repair response. When applied regularly, especially before bedtime with gentle warmth, castor oil soothes irritated areas and begins to turn off that internal fire. Michael followed a simple nightly routine: light warm-up of the oil, gentle massage to the lower abdomen and pubic region, covering the area with a warm towel for 20 minutes. 3 weeks later, he looked at me with a renewed light in his eyes and said, "It's like my body is opening back up. I don't just feel comfort, I feel hope." And that's exactly what healing is supposed to feel like. Because when inflammation goes down, your body stops fighting itself and starts feeling again. If this part of the video speaks to you, leave a in the comments below, because understanding this one overlooked issue could be the turning point in your journey. And don't forget to click subscribe so you never miss another natural solution designed specifically for men over 60. Transition hook. But what about sensation? Now, even if blood flow improves, even if inflammation is reduced, there's one more piece to the puzzle. What if you can function, but you can't feel? Many men tell me, "Dr. Emma, I can still be intimate, but I don't feel it the way I used to. It's like my body's doing the motions, but my mind and heart aren't there." This next part is for those who miss feeling alive, who miss the emotional, physical, and sensual connection that used to define their manhood. In Part 4, we'll uncover the emotional truth behind numbness and how castor oil, when used intentionally, may reignite sensation, arousal, and emotional connection, bringing back what you thought was lost forever. Benefit 4: supporting the reactivation of sensation and nerve function in the male genital area. Because function without feeling isn't connection. Let's address a topic most men hesitate to say out loud, even in a doctor's office. It's not just about getting an erection, it's about feeling something when you do. That deep, warm, undeniable sensation that once ignited passion and intimacy, now replaced by a blankness, a physical act without emotional fulfillment. I once had a heart-wrenching conversation with a patient named Larry, age 70. He looked away, embarrassed, and said, "Dr. Emma, I can still have sex, but I don't feel anything. It's like my body's doing it, but my heart isn't there." That wasn't just a complaint about pleasure. It was a quiet cry for connection. For many men, this silent numbness erodes not just intimacy, but identity. And yet, it's incredibly common. What's really happening? As we age, multiple biological shifts combine to dull sensitivity: declining testosterone, reduced nitric oxide, slower nerve signal transmission, chronic pelvic inflammation, and the cumulative effects of medications or vascular damage. All of this leads to a gradual disconnect between the brain and the body. Touch no longer sparks response. Stimulation feels flat, and the intimacy that once gave joy now feels like a mechanical duty. But here's the uplifting truth: nerve endings can be reawakened. The body has remarkable neuroplasticity, even in later life. And again, castor oil provides surprising support in this journey. Castor oil and nerve regeneration. Castor oil is known for its unique ability to improve microcirculation, calm inflammation around nerve endings, create a warming, nurturing environment that supports peripheral nerve repair, hydrate, and soften surrounding tissues to reduce nerve compression. This isn't just topical care, it's a message to your nervous system. It's time to feel again. Larry, after weeks of consistent application, gentle massage, warm towel, just 3 nights a week, came back with a gentle smile and said, "I'm starting to feel again. Not intensely, but it's real. It's happening." That wasn't just a sensation. It was reconnection with his body, his emotions, his partner, and himself. Let me say this to you, man to man, or perhaps more accurately, heart to heart. You are not broken. You are not too old. And you are certainly not done. What you're missing isn't gone. It's just been buried under years of inflammation, stress, shame, and silence. But with the right care, with patience, and with intentional healing, you can start to feel again. If you're still with me, drop a in the comments. Because if this part speaks to your heart, it means you're ready, not just for performance, but for real connection. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell, because the next part is critical. Transition. There's one more vital piece, and most men never think about it. So we've talked about blood flow, we've talked about tissue, we've talked about nerves and sensation, but there's one more piece of the puzzle, something so small yet so critical, it can make or break your progress. It's the skin itself. Yes, the thin, sensitive skin of the genital region, often ignored. Yet it serves as the gateway to touch, pleasure, and protection. In Part 5, we'll explore why aging skin becomes fragile and reactive, and how castor oil helps rebuild this protective barrier, preserving not just comfort, but the very ability to feel. Benefit 5. Moisturizing and protecting the sensitive genital skin. The unsung hero of sensation, comfort, and confidence. When most people talk about male vitality, they focus on big things: hormones, erections, muscle strength, stamina. But almost no one talks about the skin, and yet it plays one of the most essential roles in your intimate health. Let me share a story about Frank, age 73. He came into my clinic and said something that surprised even me. "Dr. Emma, the skin down there is so thin now. Sometimes it even cracks. I'm honestly scared to wear tight pants." And you know what? That fear is valid, because the skin around the genital area is not like the skin on your hands or arms. It's delicate, thin, fragile, hormone dependent, and with age, it becomes more and more vulnerable. Why skin health matters. Here's what happens as you get older. Collagen production decreases, causing the skin to thin and sag. Testosterone declines, reducing elasticity and natural oil production. The skin becomes dry, reactive, and prone to micro-tears or irritation. And worst of all, these issues can dull nerve endings, limit pleasure, and cause discomfort during intimacy. In fact, these tiny cracks and tight patches can send stress signals to the body, creating a cycle of withdrawal and avoidance. Men begin to avoid closeness. They worry about chafing, about tearing, about pain, and before they know it, they start pulling away, not just physically, but emotionally. That's when intimacy begins to feel like a chore, or worse, like a risk. The skin is your first line of defense and connection. It protects your nerves, your blood vessels, and even your self-esteem, and that's why it must be cared for like the vital organ it is. How castor oil helps nourish and rebuild. Genital skin. Castor oil is rich in fatty acids and has a thick, deeply hydrating texture. It doesn't just sit on the skin like most commercial lotions. Instead, it penetrates deep into dry, thinning skin, replenishes moisture at the cellular level, forms a protective barrier that locks in hydration, soothes itching, redness, and tightness without fragrances or harsh chemicals, and most importantly, it helps preserve the sensitivity of the nerve endings just beneath the surface. When Frank began applying castor oil at night, just 2 to 3 times a week, with no heat, his skin began to respond. After a month, he told me with a light laugh, "It feels stronger. I'm not worried about every little movement anymore, and that's given me freedom. That freedom is priceless. Let me tell you something many men need to hear. It's not vanity to care for your skin. It's vitality. It's dignity. It's permission to feel again. Because when your skin is dry, cracked, or inflamed, every touch becomes stressful. But when it's healthy and hydrated, it becomes what it was always meant to be, a gateway to pleasure, trust, and connection. Don't make these mistakes. Now let's say you're ready to start. You've got your bottle of castor oil, your towel, your time set aside. But wait, are you doing it right? Because even with all these benefits, most men make simple mistakes that sabotage their progress, and then feel frustrated when they don't see results. That's why the next section is so important. Avoid these mistakes that could ruin your results. We'll break down the exact type of castor oil you must use, the proper way to warm, apply, and absorb it, the ideal time of day and frequency, and how to turn this into a powerful, restorative ritual. Avoid these common mistakes that sabotage results. So far, we've explored the science, the emotions, and the benefits of castor oil therapy: enhanced blood flow, softening scar tissue, calming inflammation, awakening sensation, and protecting sensitive skin. But now comes the part most people rush through or get wrong. You see, knowledge without correct action is like having a key to the door, but never turning it. Many men jump in too quickly. They use the wrong kind of oil, apply it inconsistently, forget to warm the oil or skip massage altogether, or they use too much, too often, hoping for instant results. And when nothing changes after a week, they give up, thinking it doesn't work. But the truth is, it does work, when done the right way. So let me walk you through, step by step. Step by step, castor oil application for male vitality. 1. Use only pure, cold-pressed, hexane-free castor oil. Not all oils are created equal. You want 100% pure, organic, cold-pressed, hexane-free, and unscented castor oil. Why? Because added fragrances, preservatives, or refining chemicals can irritate sensitive skin, and you want all the natural enzymes and fatty acids to remain active. Look for brands that clearly state for therapeutic or external use. Avoid oils that look overly thin or have added color. 2. Gently warm the oil. Before application, never apply cold oil directly. Warming it makes it more absorbent, more soothing, and better at penetrating tissue. How to warm it? Place the sealed bottle in a cup of warm water for 2 to 3 minutes, or roll it between your hands for 30-60 seconds. Important? Never microwave the oil or use direct flame. We want gentle heat, not hot oil. 3. Apply to key areas with a gentle circular massage. Where to apply: the pubic region, lower abdomen above the genitals, the base and shaft of the penis, the inner thighs or perineum if comfortable. Use about a teaspoon of oil. Gently rub in slow, circular motions for about 3 to 5 minutes. Don't rush this part. This isn't just physical, it's a moment of reconnection. Feel your breath. Be present with your body. 4. Apply gentle heat to boost absorption. After massage, take a clean washcloth soaked in warm water, wring it out, and lay it gently over the area. Leave it for 15 to 20 minutes. You can lie down, relax, or even meditate during this time. This warmth opens pores, encourages deep absorption, enhances circulation, and creates a calm, healing environment for your tissues and nerves. 5. Be consistent. 3 to 4 times a week is enough. This isn't something you need to do daily. In fact, 3 to 4 times per week, preferably at night before bed, is ideal. Why before bed? Your body is in restorative mode. You're not moving around or sweating. You allow time for absorption without interruption. Consistency over intensity. This isn't a race, it's a restoration journey. I'll never forget my patient Gerald, 69. When I first suggested castor oil therapy, he laughed and said, "Doctor, you want me to rub what? Where?" But he agreed to try. 3 weeks later, he returned with a peaceful expression and said, "It's not just helping. I actually look forward to it. It feels like I'm finally taking care of myself in a way I never knew I needed." And that's exactly what I want for you too. Bonus: avoid these common mistakes using refined or fragranced oils. They strip away the healing compounds and irritate skin. Applying too much oil. More isn't better. A thin layer works best for penetration and prevents clogging. Not applying heat. Heat unlocks the oil's full power. Without it, results are much slower. Quitting after 1 week. This isn't instant magic. It's cumulative care. The results build with time. This is more than a routine. It's a ritual. Every drop you apply, every towel you warm, every moment you pause and reconnect with yourself. It all sends a quiet but powerful message to your body. I care. I'm still here. I'm reclaiming what's mine. If you're ready to commit to this gentle but powerful process, type "I'm ready" in the comments. Let's build a community of men supporting each other through healing, dignity, and vitality, the natural way. And of course, if you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more science-backed healing methods tailored for men over 60. Let's be honest. Most men who search for solutions like this aren't just looking for function, they're searching for something deeper. Not just harder erections, not just restored sensation, but a return to who they used to be. A return to feeling strong, confident, connected, and alive. They want to feel like men again, not because of a performance checklist, but because of a deep internal knowledge. I still have it. I'm still me. And I want to speak directly to you, the man watching this right now. This was never just about oil. What we've explored together, this journey through castor oil therapy, isn't just about a natural remedy. It's about something more intimate, more human. It's about listening to your body again. It's about choosing to care, even when the world says, it's just old age. It's about refusing to accept decline as your destiny. Over the past 30 years, I've seen men walk into my clinic defeated, embarrassed, ashamed, and I've watched those same men walk out, just weeks later, with their heads held higher. Not because they were suddenly 25 again, but because they had begun to believe again. They believed their bodies still responded to care. They believed their pleasure and confidence weren't lost forever. They believed they deserved to feel alive, at any age. And that belief changed everything. Let's be clear, you are not broken. Aging is natural, but suffering in silence is optional. You are not broken. You are not less of a man because things feel different. You are not alone in what you're going through, and you do not need to feel ashamed for wanting to feel more. Castor oil is a symbol of something bigger. Every drop you warm between your hands, every slow circle of massage, every moment of heat, stillness, and presence, it's not just a treatment, it's a ritual, a quiet reclaiming of ownership, intimacy, and dignity. It's your way of saying to yourself, I still matter. I still deserve to feel connected. I still deserve to feel whole. Let's walk this road together. If you've made it to this part of the video, I want you to know something. I see you, I respect your courage, and I'm here to walk this journey with you every single week. This channel, Wise Wellness, was created for men like you, men who are curious, committed, and quietly searching for more than just pills or quick fixes. You're searching for the truth, for natural answers, for healing that honors your body, your spirit, and your story. If this video spoke to you, here's what you can do right now. Drop a in the comments if you're ready to start your own castor oil ritual. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another healing insight. And share this video with a friend, a brother, a father, or someone who may be silently struggling, just like you were. Let's create a community where no man feels forgotten, and every man knows his strength isn't gone. It's just waiting to be reawakened. My wish for you is simple: that you reclaim your vitality, that you reconnect to your body, and that you never again question your worth, your power, or your capacity to feel joy. I'll be right here every week, bringing you natural, science-backed, and compassionate guidance for your most important years. Until next time, stay strong, stay curious, stay whole. Dr. Emma Wise Wellness.